Welcome to Instant Discussions, episode 2.
We're starting.
Yep.
We're starting.
We're going to start like this. So let's move on and begin with our discussion of Oldboy.
Yeah.
I'll let you start us off here. Anything you want to? Do you want to give a brief description of the film before we give our big spoiler alert to not watch anything else?
Well, if you don't think that my description will be good.
If you don't want to go in completely blind,
Yeah,
you should have already seen the film by now and not clicked on videos that say Instant Discussions Oldboy before watching this.
It's good life advice.
Yeah. So, little spoiler alert. Tell us a little bit.
It's a graphic, hardcore revenge film. That's probably the minimalist description. It's a Korean film. I'm going to give some basic details. It's a Korean film. I don't have basic details.
Nope. Well, one thing that I did see...
I researched everything but the actual film! That's amazing! Okay.
I did some research on the film. I was going to bring it up when we talk about the film.
What year did it come out?
2003.
Okay, that's what I didn't look up. It came out in 2003 directed by Chan Wook Park. Mm-hmm. I actually haven't seen any of his other stuff. But
okay. I'm about to this week. I didn't watch any yet.
Yeah.
I was caught up watching other things. So now, big spoiler alert, and we'll start talking about the show. But first, I wanted to give a little shout out to our sponsor for this week. Our sponsor this week is a little family practice called Oldboy Dentistry. Ask about their family rates.
Yeah.
Relatively painless, relatively to something unimaginable that I can't think of. So, Oldboy Dentistry. Give them a call. Why don't you?
They'll help you out. They'll fix you up real good.
They'll fix you up real good. Yeah. Continue.
Okay, so for those of you that, they're actually coming out with a new version. I wanted to talk about this first.
You want to talk about the first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
October 11th, 2013.
Yeah, that's coming out, and what is crazy, directed is Spike Lee.
Yeah.
And he talked. I looked up some interviews and at least what I could find about it.
Yeah.
And when someone was interviewing him, and there was only like 2-3 questions that were asked of him. It doesn't really matter what the questions were at this point because his answer every single time was it's a reimagined version. They're like, how are you going to live up to this? And he's just like, it's a reimagined version. Like,
yeah.
And that's pretty much all he had to say about it. It's just like, okay, well, are you going to be as intense? You know, is the story different? And he's just like, it's a reimagined version.
I like that he's not talking too much about it. One thing I was thinking was I'm a little sad having seen this one now. I love the movie, but I won't get that same. I'm worried I won't get that same surprise watching the remake. But it depends if he reimagines it in the right way.
Right.
It could be. But I read the description of the movie on IMDb for the remake. And the description of the film is the same description as the IMDb description for the original. So it starts off with being locked up for 15 years and
Josh
then
Brolin
seeking revenge.
Being locked up for 15 years.
I am excited to see these actors in
particularly
those roles.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah. I haven't
One
seen
of the Olsen twins?
Not one of the Olsen twins.
What?
The younger sister of the Olsen twins.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Mary-Kate and
I never
Ashley
knew
are
their
the two
names.
Olsens.
Oh,
Okay.
right,
This is the younger
right,
sister. She was
right.
recently in Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene,
Oh,
which got a
okay.
lot of critical acclaim. I haven't seen it, but she's been seen before, but only in a few films. The villain in this film is
he's the star of District 9.
District 9, yeah.
That was really cool. I was like, wow, all right.
That'll be exciting to see him in something. I want to know I'm interested to see what role Samuel L. Jackson will play.
I know. I have a feeling he's Woo Jin Lee's assistant.
Oh,
yeah, I can see that.
Mr. Park, I think is what his name was.
Yeah.
Or no, that was the guy. That was the jailer. I think
that could work.
The assistant, though, I could see that.
He could be in almost anything. Josh Brolin, I'm excited to see him in it after Men in Black 3 and Gangster Squad, the 2 ones I saw him in recently.
Yeah.
This is definitely a turn from those movies.
Oh,
They were a little more family friendly.
we'll see.
Not gonna be-
I'm interested.
It'll at least be
I'm
interesting to check it out.
Check it
if
out at least
nothing else.
once. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also Chenwu Park. Well, I guess we'll talk about that at the end.
We can talk about that now.
Yeah. All right. Well, so this movie starts off with a man who's Odaisu. He's holding this man over the ledge by his tie.
Yes.
Very, very. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that a lot more once it got to the very end.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Well, I mean, what
First-
about the end specifically? Was it that?
first they show him holding him up.
Yeah.
And then it cuts backwards in time.
Right.
Then we see this happen again.
Catches it up.
Catches it up to that point. However, as the way that he's holding him off, so we've already given spoiler alert, but for the ending of the film, when the reveal that the villain has
Hypnotized.
well, what he did in the past when his sister committed suicide, he was holding her off the ledge.
Oh, yeah,
saying,
yeah,
let me
yeah.
go.
Okay.
The way he was holding her, and then she took the picture and he let her fall.
Yeah.
That was the same grip, the holding on,
Yeah.
as him holding the man off of the tie. So there's something with the way he was holding her was getting that imagery into his head, the way that the villain had the imagery of his sister falling.
Yeah.
So he's kind of paralleled that, and I'm wondering if he set that up.
Yeah, because I mean, he did just wake up, and then there's the guy wanting to kill him.
Because that is afterwards, and we know that he's hypnotized him into doing certain actions. So he's controlling his destiny.
You're probably right. I mean,
I think he set it up to try to something to trigger in his head to get that image in his head, so he could see that.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think I like that scene a little more. At first, it was kind of just it was interesting, but it wasn't as much relevant to him. Like he kind of it was a guy there, he was about to die, and then he died, and that was it.
Yeah.
Well,
Steal some woman's sunglasses.
Yeah.
Well, just before we
I
really
like
get
falling
into it,
apart.
Yeah, just clunk.
I attempted to watch this movie once,
Yeah.
and when it starts off with him just being drunk, I thought this is the stupidest movie I've ever seen in my life. And I waited, and I was like, and then they got to the scene with the umbrella, and I was like, I'm out. I turned it off. I wish I hadn't, but do not turn it off if you're gonna watch it,
Yeah.
because it ends up being amazing.
It starts out pretty ridiculously with him being
I-
drunk. Like it's
Nobody's ever like that. I've seen drunk people. That's
the acting in the film is worse in the beginning, I think, than it gets.
Yeah.
It's so much
It
better
gets
later
so
on.
horrible in the beginning.
Yeah, it kind of it turns you off on it.
Yeah. And one other thing,
Well-
just the way that they filmed it, when I read that it was based on manga,
Yeah.
it totally comes out. That's one of the I
The
didn't
way
find
it
that
kind
out
of jumps
till-
around
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, and I said, "This reminds me of an anime,
Yeah. Storyboard.
Japanese animation." And then when I read, looked up it later, I was like, "That makes total sense."
Yeah.
So I thought that the way they just filmed everything was really cool.
Yeah. But one thing I think the first part being so crazy and him being drunk, it sneaks in that he got that gift for his daughter.
Yes.
The wings. It makes it so that you're not focusing on
Well-
him getting the gift for his daughter.
But on the other side of the coin is that, I mean, it's still, but that wasn't the part that he's really, saying that was what turned him off. Because what really
No,
turned
no.
him off was him just being drunk at the police
Yeah.
station, and then
Yeah.
it
But
dragged
I'm-
on there.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's nice that scene is kind of outlandish with him doing, peeing on the wall and being out of control and it cutting around so much. I think it does ghost that fact. It gives you the information
Yeah.
that you're going to need later on, but it ghosts it enough that you're not focusing on that and thinking about that the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because had they made the first part of the movie, meeting his wife, having their first child, having something like if they'd focused on that and him as this is a family man who has a child. In this part, you don't see you never see the child, you never see his wife. Then when he gets locked up, he sees the story that his wife has been killed.
Yeah.
All it talks about is his wife, and he talks about his wife being killed.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't. They don't focus on the child, but they've given you the information of the child.
Yeah.
It's like
No, yeah,
that's-
like you were saying, the beginning is I like it. I just wish they cut it down. Like,
Yeah.
I think the intention was it
Half
was
of
supposed
it.
to be comedic.
Yeah.
I honestly think it was supposed to be comedic, and it got lost in dubbing.
maybe it was just annoying
Yeah.
in dubbed version. Then.
The
Yeah.
dubbing was interesting because it seemed to be done syllabically, where it was matching up. It matched up well with their mouths on a lot of it.
I didn't know this when I picked the film. I actually didn't check it on Netflix
Yeah.
because I had watched it another way before.
I was in, yeah,
Without the dubbing. I watched it with subtitles the first time through.
I haven't really found most of the Korean films that I watch on Netflix. They're not dubbed; they're subtitles. I
And-
was surprised when this one was. I thought when it first started playing, I almost thought that they had done that intentionally.
Yeah.
That was part of it. But after looking it up, that was
I was a little annoyed that you couldn't take off the English dubbing, to be
Yeah.
honest. Just a little. Because I wanted to hit it off. But
yeah.
Oh,
I don't think it took.
English dub came up.
there was no way to take it off on the Netflix version.
Oh, mine wasn't even on at all.
Here's just
Okay. No, I'm sorry. Yes. You're
yeah, English dub.
right. Got mixed up there.
No, not subtitles.
Not subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was though. I don't. While it detracted in the beginning, I think the dubbing was done pretty well. That it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't take me out of it. It made it easy to watch.
And I was happy with their voices too. There's been other things that I've seen dubbed, and I'm like, really?
I'm not saying it's horrible.
No, it's very good dubbing for.
It's good dubbing
just-
for dubbing. Like
It's just you're not getting the.
Yeah.
You're not getting the true performance that the actors gave.
Yeah, that's my main.
Yeah, and a lot of times I've seen many things that are dubbed, and when they're subtitled, you get their actual performance, and you don't get when it seems so ridiculous when they're dubbed.
Yeah.
Because you're hearing some other voice and it doesn't match up, so that's already taking you out of it, and you're not getting their actual performance. You don't get what it actually is. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think it was supposed to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be.
So I have.
It just ended up being American trying to play drunk.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the beginning part. Now, I don't like reading descriptions on things, so I was surprised when he was imprisoned. That was like a shock to me. Because anything that happens in the movie, when I don't read the description, is going to be a surprise.
Right.
But, so I like that thing. Now I want to talk about the different quotes. So the first quote I want to talk about, when he says, if they had told me it was going to be 15 years, would it have been
any
easier
easier,
to
yeah.
endure?
Oh yeah. I really like
That was
that.
good.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If you don't, when you're just thrown into the cell, to the hotel room, that's his prison cell. You don't know if this is going to be another day.
Yeah.
And then another day happens and you're still there. And another day happens and you're still there. And he keeps going on. Then you realize, oh, it's been a year. Now it's been, I think it was 6 years.
Yeah.
Was when he first started taking his tally
Just like
on his arm.
it's very similar to when you're at work. Don't look at the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't look at the clock.
That's a double-edged sword too, because sometimes if you look at the looking at the clock can keep you sane, because if you don't look at the clock, you can lose perspective of time, and you
Right.
can think that more time has passed when only less time has passed. So that can be double-edged sword with that. Sometimes it goes shorter, sometimes it goes longer.
See,
but he was saying that to watch the TV. He said, if you're ever thrown into this situation, if you ever see that purple umbrella come up, go to the TV.
Yeah.
Look at, because that's gonna keep you sane. It's gonna keep you focused. Can also tell you that your wife has been killed and that you're accused of murdering her. And that's where you can tell that he's not held by a government prison.
We can kind of tell from the cell.
You can tell from the cell.
Yeah,
but,
it's a pretty nice
But I
cell.
don't know about Korean prisons. I don't know.
Let me tell you.
There could be some.
6 months.
There could be
over
some.
He's got a lot of experience in Korean.
But you know that you know that his capture is something different, because they're saying that they don't know where he is and he's been accused of this. So he's not necessarily being held for the murder of his wife. So we don't know that, because he could have killed her and blacked out. We didn't see that part,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we're to understand that he didn't kill her.
Yeah. My one thing about the beginning here was that his hallucination of the ants.
Yeah.
What did you guys read into that? Like,
So
because I figured that maybe, like, because I admitted, I realized that I had forgotten some of the parts of the movie and I didn't really remember, and so I was like, okay, maybe this has something to tie into later that I just forgot about, but.
it doesn't entirely. I couldn't find much of a connection. Thinking about it now, it could be just part of the mind control that they're having on
Yeah.
him and playing with his mind. Maybe it could be setting up his mind so that it's able to be given suggestion. and to be more easily influenced.
Tearing him
because
down.
They're breaking down his mind so that it can, once he's hallucinating, if they can make his mind see things, then it's easier for them to hypnotize him.
Yeah.
And to do these actions. Maybe that could be it.
Didn't the girl later on kind of explain what she thought it meant?
Yeah, she was talking to. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she talked about
when she was taking care of him, took him home from the sushi place.
kind of like not trying to be alone. He wanted to be part of the colony.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. She said that she wasn't even thinking about it being necessarily brought on by the drugs, by the gas, but yeah.
And then she even kind of goes into this whole dream state on a subway, on a train.
Yeah,
with the ant,
with a giant
ant.
Yeah, it's the thing of not when you're in such solitary environment and being alone for so long that you're imagining other things there, and especially the ants because they're with the colony, they're social creatures. That you're just trying to imagine something so you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be it.
That could even be hinting. Her doing that could have even been the hint at the beginning that she's
been alone, been abandoned,
and been messed
Well,
with.
that's what I thought. That's what when I saw both scenes and I drew the contrast of all his little ants and her one big ant.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. And then he's missing the colony and she's missing.
He's missing the little ones.
Yeah, and she's missing the big ant. That's what I had thought.
Yeah, that could work.
And you know what the funny part is too? At the beginning. Well, never mind. We'll go down.
Yeah.
Go down the list. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
When we get there.
But yeah. Then he keeps his journal, puts those tattoos on his hand. It's after 6 years, digs those holes, and that girl comes in, and she leads him through that dream. And this is right around. Yeah, this is at the end of his 15 years in that prison.
Now, what I almost thought they were going to do at that point, because he got his escape, he found his way of escaping, and right before he could escape, he's put into that dream. What they could have done there is made the whole rest of the movie a dream sequence, but they did. As far as it's seen in there, it doesn't look like they did that.
Spoiler alert, it's not next. That movie pissed me off.
There's a ton of movies like that. I mean, you don't have to just say any of those. There's a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows where they do that type of thing. But it's a cheap ploy. But I don't know. It's something that you can do. It's your choice as a filmmaker to do that type of thing. And if you have a message that needs to come across because of that, that it actually works for, then that's fine. But that's something that they could have done here, and I was expecting that at that point when they did that, but then nothing else really comes of that. It's just he's put to sleep so that he can be put into the right place, kind of, so that they know where he's going to be instead of just escaping. Yeah. But they seem to have already done everything they need to, except she was the person hypnotizing him to do his next step. So maybe they just needed that extra.
And then right here is where that big quote comes in. Is you see, even though I'm worse than a beast, don't I have the right to live? Yeah. And that comes out of the guy who's going to commit suicide.
So that's when the quote's first brought up, because it's brought up again. You don't know about the guy committing suicide. You don't know his story. Right. So we don't have as much context to the quote. It doesn't really get its full effect until the end. That's when you really see the weight of that quote, because he's a monster, and from what everyone can see from the outside looking in, he's a monster. Does he have the right to live? And when you're just looking at it on the thing of if a monster, this person, disgusting to any onlookers, someone that's just someone evil, someone bad they're looking at. So you can think of say a mass murderer or something. Yeah. Or all the way down to someone who's done some crime that they're unaware of, that they don't, unaware of being the monster. To any degree of that, who has the right to go on and live on that? Yeah. So that's who, that's what he's asking there. Is does he have the right to live despite what I've done?
I think it was good because it definitely stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Even without
it made you think about it because it's out of context.
And then it was good use of repetition too. Because
Yeah.
they repeated it like 2 or 3 times.
when he's brought up again, it comes up.
Immediately.
Yeah. Once he's when you see the suicide scene twice, you hear the quote twice. That one comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was well done.
Yeah.
It's a very, very sticks in your head really easy.
Yes.
Okay.
So
He puts his 15 years of fake training to use. Beats up some dudes for a cigarette. That was good.
yep. Sometimes 15 years of training can be put to use.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
it can.
Sometimes it can't. Now, when he goes to the sushi bar,
It's an odd scene when you first watch it.
So I was looking up the ant scene with CGI. There's another moment of CGI in the film as well.
He,
some of the
I
violent
believe,
part.
ate that freaking octopus.
He
alive.
ate 4 of those
Yeah.
octopuses.
Did you
alive.
look up the
Yes.
IMDb?
Oh, wow.
He looked up 4 real life octopi, and he is a Buddhist. So he did not enjoy eating the live octopus.
Yeah.
I think the director was asked in an interview if he felt bad for making him eat the live octopus, and he said, "I feel worse for the octopus."
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, right.
so that the octopus being eaten alive is actually being eaten alive, and it is something that they do eat live. Though they say they usually cut them first.
And she did offer.
Yeah, she offered to cut
And
it.
so she was kind of weirded out the fact that he didn't want to cut
Yeah,
it.
that he just ate it completely alive. It was interesting to see that though. The tentacles squirming and grasping around him.
That's the kind of stuff I love. That is exactly the kind of thing I love, and that I would totally be down if someone asked me to do it. I'd be like, yes, let's do this.
This is
next
the type,
week.
This is the type of thing that would not get you the no animals have been harmed in the film.
Yeah, I was thinking that exact same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not about murdering animals.
Yeah,
I just think it's
it was
the dedication to his craft. Is what I'm talking about.
Because he for his end, not to doing that when he wouldn't normally do that.
That's amazing.
That's something that I wonder if they'll do that in the remake.
So amazing.
Because the American version, I don't know if they can get away with doing that.
Yeah, probably.
So right at the beginning of that scene,
It'll be CG or something.
and she already seems into him. Like right away, my first thing was like, oh, this girl has daddy issues. She's gonna be interesting in bed. That was my first thing, and I was like, so it's interesting, later on when we get into the film,
Right.
how it plays out.
Yeah, she has daddy issues. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
you
we also
can bring up
we
all
can talk about
issues
the
from
end. We
that,
know, we
Everyone here
talk
knows.
about the end. But the other thing is she's programmed to she's hypnotized into having that instant connection. They're both hypnotized so that when they see each other, or rather it's even when certain cues are given, when they hear certain phrases that they're programmed to say, that they're...
Oh, no, yeah. I got that part. I just thought it was funny. That was my first instinct.
Yeah,
and then later on, that whole...
You don't know what's going on with that.
I love the whole crazy, like the whole how distorting it is, just the interactions between them at the beginning. I love that. And particularly coming from like a different culture, like you're almost, like someone could even question, like, is that just how it is? Or, no, it can't be. It can't be how it is.
We're kind of thrown off watching this, and the same thing I was saying with not knowing what type of prison cell he was in.
Yeah.
Or in eating the live squid, you don't know how off that is. When you're not as familiar with the culture, this film is completely different. That's another thing that in the American version, you're not going to get that same kind of disjointed thing with it.
So that'll be...
Yeah.
So
I
interesting.
think in Korea there is a lot of making out on toilets, though. So that seemed normal to me, with a knife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting when he went to have his way with her. Well, first she was saying, the door doesn't lock, so don't come in here and mess with me. And then he goes and does that. It's almost like, she let him know that the door was locked, so I was like, it's going to be easy for you to get in here, this strange man who I don't know who I invited into my house. Yeah. And then afterwards she even says,
She could have just said, "I have a knife on me. Don't mess with me."
Well, she fights him off, and then after fighting him off, she says,
Oh,
"I'm
yeah.
sorry I fought you off.
This is so great. Yeah.
If you
That seems very
give me
very
some time,
Asian.
give me a little
Some
time,
time,
and then the next time you go do it, no matter what I say
Yeah.
about her, if I fight you, still do it."
You can rape me.
Yeah,
So-
that's a woman.
Yeah, she's invited him.
No.
She's kind of invited him to rape her twice, and that's another thing where you're looking at the culture thing. You're like, is this?
But there's no question. That's like no.
No,
It's consensual
it's
rape,
not.
though.
However, I mean, certain other cultures with women not having rights and being submissive,
I guess.
it could be. I don't know, but still, you that is definitely odd and wrong, and I think that could be part of her daddy issues
Yeah.
there.
You know, one thing I liked about that scene was the way that he ran to the door and ran back. It was like a child.
Yes,
It's like he broke his character for just that moment, and it
Yeah.
really shows that he had no contact with any woman or
being
anything
alone
like
for
that.
15 years. He doesn't know any. He's like
like
forgotten
reverted back.
social interaction.
Yeah.
Reverted back.
That's great.
Because he runs in there because he wants to.
But
get
even
something
the way
wants.
he
He's not
runs, it's
thinking
like-
about her because he's just thinking about what he wants there.
Uh-huh.
He sees it. Sees that. Realizes he's like, nope, Dad. Runs back. It's like a kid, doing something wrong, or like, don't touch those cookies.
Yeah.
Cookie, like don't. And he gets burned by the stove because they're hot cookies just there. It's like just put it
Oh,
back.
God.
That was a funny scene. I like that.
Sorry.
Funny rape scene.
Yeah.
As far as rape scenes go, probably a little bit more.
Well,
violence.
it was he failed.
Because he failed.
I mean, I
if
guess-
he had succeeded, it wouldn't have been as funny.
Yeah.
But so
And then the only justification for the audience, for the new audience, is that she read his journal while he was asleep. And that would be the only justification. But even that's like
that's not
That's
at
not
all.
enough.
I mean, part
Something
of it is,
weird's going on here.
Here's I don't like to use the she asking for it argument on that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of odd where she meets a strange man, invites him to her home, tells him the lock on the door
Yeah.
doesn't work. Don't try it.
But I mean, then later on, though, we do find out she's into it.
Yeah, but it's that thing of it's brought up in court cases sometimes before when the lawyer of the burglar usually says this when someone robs a place. It says, "Oh, it's you've made the whatever they're stealing too attractive. You made it too enticing."
Leaving the pie on the windowsill.
Yeah, that kind of thing where it's like you're inviting this in, and that argument's been brought up in cases of burglary before. So that kind of thing where you could say she's invited him into that situation. So to a degree, I'd say that's more than the journal reading thing, where of a justification on it. It still doesn't justify it, but it's that would be.
I'm not like trying to justify his rape,
Yeah. But you are.
but I am. No.
To analyze the
I was
film.
trying to justify her actions.
Yeah.
Her being like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because maybe she thought about
She's
it and like
getting
realized, oh, this guy's been alone for 15 years.
Well, part of that too is her programming, the way she's been.
Right.
So I think even that, that's why kind of she invites him afterwards. So her fighting him off, that's her natural reaction.
Yeah.
But inviting him back in again, that's
Their program. But yeah. And then so he goes and they get info on his wife and daughter.
Uh-huh.
And find out that the wife is dead. And the daughter is dead, I believe. They found out.
No, that the daughter was adopted by 2 doctors.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Swedish
doctors.
foster parents.
Yeah. Change her name to Eva or Eva or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they find out the name of the daughter.
Yeah. I think I missed a lot of that part. It wasn't.
Yeah, and then
I didn't catch a lot.
and then she offers, should we write a letter? Should we go visit your wife's grave? And he declines it for some reason. I thought that was kind of odd, but
I think he's focused on his task, maybe.
oh yeah.
He's probably,
Because
revenge.
he wants his revenge. He's got his list of possible people that have done this to him.
Uh-huh.
Trying to take them down.
And that would just kind of depress him.
Yeah.
Like, I'd just be like, particularly with this stranger that I'm somehow enticed to hang around for some reason.
So they got that info, they don't use it. Is that when they start going to the restaurants?
Then he starts going in search to find the flavor.
The perfect pot sticker.
The perfect pot sticker.
Because he's eaten them for 15 years, nothing else.
Which-
he's applying that exact same.
What
thing.
kind of prison does that? Like, I guess it's a weird sort of torture having to eat the same thing every day. But
Yeah, maybe it's just easy for them.
yeah, I guess.
They're
Well,
like,
I mean,
they got
they-
a good deal on pot stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did. I mean, they did that for a reason, though. The pot stickers.
Doing.
They fed him the same one. He knew that
Because
he
there needed
had.
breadcrumbs needed to be
Every
left
yeah,
behind.
because
Yeah,
everything everything he's done is intentional.
Uh-huh.
He's given him just the information he wants to have.
Yeah.
See, and I was wondering if that part was hypnotized in, because the odds of him remembering like that piece of paper and going through all that and then finding the sheet that was ripped off, I don't think the odds of that is.
But I don't know. I think more so he's going after that taste, and yeah, they could have planted that, or maybe they bought the ad and just made it that ad that sticks out
Yeah.
in the paper. That could have been that as well. He's definitely got money.
Yeah.
Somehow.
No, but the chance of him remembering that little thing and then finding the ripped out piece of the newspaper
Remembering which thing?
or the phone book,
Yeah, but remembering.
remembering the blue dragon, the little piece of paper he found in the pot sticker.
Yeah, they could have left it in there. It's a long shot, but he was definitely playing the long con on this one. What with 15 years and all.
And that's one of the reasons I really, really liked the bad guy. What's his name? I forgot his name.
Not
I'll call him
Evergreen.
the villain.
Yeah, that guy.
Evergreen.
Could be Evergreen or Woojin.
It was
Wu
like
Jin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like he was like Mozart, and he was like composing this beautiful symphony that just
Yeah.
planned out so perfectly. Oh, I
In
really
fact-
liked his character because of that.
In fact, he hasn't been planning this for just 15 years because he was planning this one
Since
since the
Probably.
initial since high school. Essentially, since high school, he's been planning this. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
That's- wow.
Because it's definitely consumed his life. That's it's
They're
everything
in
that's
their
been there.
30s probably.
So he
40s.
he went to gain his wealth so that he could afford.
They're in their
to-
40s, yeah.
Yeah, he any success that he had in business was to gain wealth so that he could pull off this
Ultimate
crazy
crazy.
thing.
But the funny thing is, though, is I mean, they mentioned that it was inherited, and then he added on to that. So he could have anything he ever wanted, and the one thing that he wanted was revenge, which I thought was kind of beautiful.
Paying for 15 years of this
Because
guy
the
being
one
in
thing that he
prison.
wanted was taken away from him.
Yeah.
That was he would have been. We believe he could have been happy in life if he would have gotten the what he wanted, if he would have had that relationship. But he lost that, and now he said, "All right, new life goal. This
Yeah.
is
who's at fault here?
yeah,
Would I sue?
yep, yeah. It was his fault
Starting
because
his-
he told
his
one
tongue.
guy.
And they told two guys. And
they
they
told
told
two
two
guys.
guys. So they look for the pot stickers. Oh, then
He finds the one pot sticker.
And then there's even some breadcrumb of there's even the breadcrumb. I'm gonna mention this briefly of she's chatting online with that random dude.
Yeah.
And then he starts getting suspicious of her, but it's really just them manipulating her.
Yep.
But that's good though for them.
Yeah, so
That's great.
he gains his suspicion of her, wondering if that's the classic thing in any movie where someone's being manipulated or a spy thing. They find their one ally, and then you have to question that ally.
Yeah.
So you don't know if you have any friends in the world. Question everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, he finds his pot sticker. He finds a blue dragon, and then he traces it back, follows the delivery boy, and this is where our sponsors dental work is first shown.
Yes, the corridor fight scene.
And one of the coolest things ever. Yes, I love when this is the thing I was excited. This is the note I was excited about. Is this fight scene because this fight scene lasts it's one cut that's 2 minutes and 39 seconds long.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a 2 minute 39
Yes.
second action scene.
Action scene.
Fully choreographed thing. Only one bit of CGI in the entire thing.
Oh, was it? Or was it the knife?
Him getting the knife.
Okay.
Him getting stabbed. That was the only bit of CGI in that.
Was
scene.
that? I thought.
I was
That's what
wondering
it's-
that. I was
As far as I read, it was.
I was
CGI.
wondering. Oh, did you read up on it?
Yeah.
And it was CGI. Because
What I read is that CGI.
for a little bit, I was wondering if he just had something in his back that
He-
was like a vest or something.
I think he could have. I think it's. I think they added parts to it. They usually will do a basic
I see.
prop, and then like maybe they'll have the handle of it, and they'll shove the handle has a place where it goes in, but
okay,
the blade is then digitally added in. Sometimes that happens.
That would makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have it so it's just the hand. Yeah.
So you don't have to have like a retractable blade and all that crazy stuff. But yes, it took them from all I read.
Just one take.
It was one take. They did it on the first take. It was perfect.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was just kidding.
No, it took them 17 takes, filmed over 3 days,
Wow.
to get this 2.5
And
minutes.
and endless hours of rehearsal.
Yeah. So you got the rehearsals on top of that. I mean, comparing this to, I don't know which take they used on this.
Right.
But I remember hearing for on Les Miserables when Anne Hathaway
I haven't seen it.
was. I'm not going to spoil anything.
Okay.
She did her big musical number that she's getting all the nominations for and
Okay.
probably going to win the Oscar for. It was a very emotional scene, and they did it. I think it was the 5th take or the 7th take. The director Tom Hooper said, "That's perfect. We've got it." It's
She
good."
kept going.
She said, I think I have more in me. I can keep going. She kept going and kept pushing on. They did, a bunch more takes. I don't know,
And
20
then-
more takes.
yeah.
They used that take.
They used the one that
And
he said was
all of
perfect,
the energy he expended after that, not needed.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if maybe like they got it right. Was it the first
Yeah,
take that
it's
was
probably
right and they
the
got it
first
for coverage?
Yeah.
That would be terrible. I think I'm leaning more towards it was the 17th take or maybe the 16th take. That was because when you know what you want in that scene and he's looking at it, I think it's that thing of as soon as you know you've got it, you're like, okay,
We got it.
we got it. Because you only need one continuous take, and you're not going to edit it in with other
Right. Yeah.
other things.
It's done.
So
When you're done, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
On this kind of a thing.
I think that might have been the 17th take.
But I love the end after the cut is done too. It's so great because he's standing there, gets that smile on his face, and then why? Because there's
And the only piece of music that's not a non-original score in there,
yeah.
and the Vivaldi's Winter, that it's and when that music comes up again, you associate now that image with that music, and it goes hand in hand, and you start hearing that song playing again. And it also kind of Hitchcockian in the way that it does it. He puts the hammer, the teeth of the hammer,
Yeah.
right next to the teeth.
Teeth.
Gets it set, cuts away. You do not see him in that scene at least. You do not see the teeth coming out.
Right. And then you
which-
see it start bleeding, and then
Yeah.
it cuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with Psycho, where there are people that if you see that the first time, there are definitely people that'll swear, yeah, you see it stabbing, yeah, you see it,
Yeah.
you see the teeth coming out. Because you see that in your head, because you know the logical steps of where it goes. Your
Yeah.
mind fills in the gaps. But no, they don't. It's just played it back again just to show it. It says,
See
"Sit
that.
right there,"
And
cuts
then
away.
Teeth on the keyboard.
Teeth on the keyboard. So, but your mind fills in every step along
Yeah.
the way with the sounds and everything. So, and that's the thing that I see a lot in the movies that people often describe as torture porn. And the reason I get upset with that stuff, like, if they actually watch the films and they understand, they do a lot of great
Torture porn's all
makeup
up
and
here.
stuff. It's all in your mind. You're filling that
favorite.
all in. And some of the ones they do actually show every piece of it, and that's
Yeah.
just they're getting really good with makeup and prosthetics. They're showing things, but even when you cut it down and you don't show that stuff, it's still there. You still see it. The thoughts are still.
Oh no,
there.
yeah. The only time I really wanted to throw up from any type of media was reading a book.
Yeah,
I was reading it and I wanted to vomit.
because they can be,
I've
they're-
watched
That's awesome.
all the horror, like
That's it.
everything, and reading a book made me want to throw up.
because they can get so descriptive,
Yeah,
and that's just
yeah.
all in your mind.
It's all in your
You're
mind.
limited by
That's
what
why-
you see in the
yeah.
film. You only see what's there. This one you can.
Yeah.
You can definitely imagine more with those books.
I was gonna comment. I really like that. Well, one thing I didn't like was a few of them had pieces of wood that were like just perfect. That wouldn't really be like brand new wood that broke really easily. But besides that, something I really really liked was his boxing technique. I mean, they could have went for some like crazy
Okay.
ninja. Or they could have went for this and that. He was mostly doing anything where you would practice against a wall. So, or punches, Superman punches. He wasn't doing like some high kicks and things like that. It was all consistent with what he would
With
have gone
how
through,
he was practicing.
which I really enjoyed because I was like, okay, now he's gonna do a flip or something, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
So I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't get too. While it was crazy, it didn't get too outrageous
Yeah.
with what they were doing in the action. Yeah, too unbelievable.
The only one part that bothered me in the fight scene was he's fighting, he gets on the other side of them, and then there's one guy that kind of goes past him, and then doesn't come back for like half a minute. He has like a blue shirt on or something.
Oh, that's right.
And I watched it and I was like, okay, he's
though.
about to come back and hit him right now. And I'm waiting for
Yeah.
him to come back and jump on him or something. And he just doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's a little. But that's the only thing that took me out of it.
Yeah,
but-
did you notice the shoelaces though? They were untied, so he probably
Did
went
you
to go to
go
tie
tie
them.
them?
Yeah. You don't want to fight with
Yeah.
messy shoelaces, I mean.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not
No.
serious.
Oh, okay.
There could have been any number of reasons why he went off for a bit. I don't know, maybe he just came running in and he needed to take a breather. And
Yeah.
he saw that, he's tied up with those guys right now. I'm
I'm
okay.
just saying, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
It's
no, they're not
fine.
going to need me.
because of how difficult the seat is.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
not like harping too hard about it.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of like,
Yeah.
I noticed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ending was amazing because I laughed hard because I can only imagine being those 7 guys in the elevator, looking out, seeing this man with a hammer and just 30 people behind him
Yeah.
writhing in pain. Just being like,
they know what's coming
crap.
up. And then you don't have to, that's when the elevator doors close, you don't need to show what happens next because you've already just seen
Yeah.
all of what happens. You don't need just more action to throw it up on.
You
there.
just need doors opening and
understand.
people falling out and he's standing there.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That was great. Alrighty. But yeah, and he goes and a random stranger helps him get into a taxi. Sends him to the girl's address.
Yep.
Says, bye, Odatsu.
Yep. And
That was good.
Then he real at that point is when you
But,
realize.
but I like that. It just shows once again how, like, 10 steps ahead he is.
Yep.
He's the first
guiding
one walking,
everything.
ready to go. You know he'd been waiting there, good
Yeah.
hour, just waiting, and then sees it and he's like,
But
boom.
is that the first time that you get like the hint that someone's really planning this?
Well, we know
What's
that
going on here?
we know that there's something up. I think we already know that there's definitely something's going on.
Yeah.
That kind of confirms
Yeah.
confirms a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, these people are out to get him, and they're. It's more than just that one building.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they lead him off to the girl.
Oh yeah, and then you even watch, and then immediately, and then later, you can see that there's a man across the street spying on him. And I think it is Evergreen. It is Evergreen, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Wujin. Calling him Evergreen. Oh, and this is when. I think this is when Dicey. I forget how he gets the tape. Oh, he gets the tape from the prison guy, and he gets the tape, and he finally finds out the reason why he was imprisoned is because
Yeah.
he talks too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this wasn't as interesting because they set it up as this company that takes people and locks them up for any given reason.
Yeah.
For any amount of time, and transportation's included if it's over a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And so it's set up as a company, and so it's an interview as their as he's come in as a client and said, "I want to lock up Odaisu because he talks too much." Yeah, and we don't know what. At first, it just seems as he talks too much. It's like he just doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Like there's just
Yeah.
it's the simplest of reasons. We don't know the full depth of he talks too much. Later we realize, that
was
it's
good.
because
Yeah,
he
that was
said
good.
that line.
That was legitimately
Yeah.
the reason.
And we also learned later on that it's not just this random company that holds people up. It could be. He could have set up this company, maybe as a side business or something, but it seems mostly that he set up this. He does run that building, Evergreen.
Yeah.
So he set this up. So that tape is another breadcrumb that he's left him, and thinking that it's just a client there, but it's.
I didn't like though that the one tape had a little English on it. Out of all those tapes, and it's like, oh, here's the one. Whatever.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember that.
Yeah, because it was all Korean, but then one of them had just like I forgot what it said, like one word in English on top. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Just random coincidence that it happened.
Or was it?
Or was it planted in English? I
Programs.
knew he would go towards English.
Yeah, then they figure out. Oh, then I believe this is when he ties her up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He ties her up and he goes and finds who was doing this.
Yeah.
to him because he's led to.
Finds that the address
Is across the street.
is across the street
Across
from
the
his friend,
Yeah.
whose name I can't remember.
Yeah.
And that's
So
when he
he's-
kind of freaks out. He's like, "What the heck's going on? You must be in on it."
Yeah. So he ties her up because he thinks she's in on it. Goes to find Evergreen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And can't kill him.
Yep.
Can't kill the man.
Because he's put in. He had his pacemaker put in with an off switch,
Yeah.
so that if ever.
Well, and what's more is the curiosity. He doesn't have. All he knows is that he talks too much, and
Yeah.
that's not really good enough of a reason for 15
He's like, you can have your
years.
revenge right now, but if you want to know why, you can't kill me.
Can't kill me.
Yeah, and you can't have the satisfaction of killing me because if you go to
Or torturing him.
yeah, or torture me. If you go to try to kill me or torture me or anything, or I'll just kill myself
Kill
painlessly.
myself.
Won't feel a thing.
Yeah.
See, but did he really? I mean, did he really have that though? I mean, I know he didn't know.
bluffing.
Complete bluffing because it was a laser pointer.
No, yeah.
That was
As
amazing.
as we learn later, because he was even using the laser pointer. He's using it as a laser pointer, and then Odaisu grabs it, and yeah. But again, save it for the end. Yeah, so goes, kills him, can't kill him. So he's got to. He walks out of there.
Yeah, and he's just like, oh, by the way, you kind of left your friend tied up. This girl
Left her
tied
tied
up,
up.
unlocked, door wide open. Probably want to check on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. And yes, then he's almost got repercussion from the jailer.
Yeah, almost got his teeth taken
Almost
out.
got his teeth taken out till just got called in on.
Yep.
And they even do reference what we're talking about is that it's all in the imagination. Like the imagination's much worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 He braces himself and twitches a little bit.
And he goes ah, and then didn't do it. Didn't
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Another thing too, he's protective over.
And he just starts laughing.
He's protected over the girl as over Mito, because he's fond of her.
Yeah, and that's when it really comes out.
But it's that. But the protectiveness that he's showing there is the protectiveness of it's not the full protectiveness that he would have if he knows the full information.
Oh yeah,
He would be even. It would be enraged even more.
Yeah.
If he had done that.
And they even say, or at least in the dub version, for touching her like boob or something.
Yeah,
like, they're
just
very
her breast.
specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut off your hands. They're like, oh, you have to cut off my tongue too.
Cutting off tongues, eh?
And then they leave.
Mm-hmm.
Leave Mito's place. Go to a hotel. And they do it.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you be a bit more clear, sir?
So that now they follow him. They go.
But-
They finally they consummate their relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the point where she's saying no, but then telling him to keep going.
Yeah. Well, they're full at that point. They have their sex. They have all out there, and it's just their relationship. They've met each other, and that's the next step on that. It's then after that he realizes that they could be being bugged. And how does he?
He doesn't. No. It's very apparent because what happens is that the gas comes in. Woojin comes in and he's a total creep, and then they wake up and there's this purple present on the table.
Yeah. So they.
That's so great. Just to be, you're both naked in bed and you wake up and then there's something. Oh
Yeah.
God.
So you know someone's been in the room and
Know exactly who's been in the
Yeah,
room.
you know who's been in the room.
Same exact
Yeah.
person, still
Yeah.
there. You're trying to get out. No, we're still watching you.
So he knows they're being followed.
You're at a hotel. No, we're still watching.
And-
you.
and I like
As far
how
as he
she-
knows, he's being tracked. He's being followed. So
Yeah.
they search for the bugs and they get the.
And I like that she just falls, passes out, and he's just standing there and looks down, and then looks back at the gift.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
The hand.
Yeah, they find the hand of the security guard, Mr. Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get the bugs taken out.
Yeah, and then they go get the bugs. Well, what they think is all the bugs taken out.
He doesn't-
Because no. I'm pretty sure that later you can even hear you see him listening in.
Well, the funny thing
No,
is,
he's listening. When he's listening, he does take out all the bugs because when he's listening in later, he goes to the guy who was helping him, and goes to the internet cafe
Oh, okay.
where the guy was helping him, and he said, "Because you took out all my bugs, now I have to listen in this way." And even he was eavesdropping over in on that conversation, and then had to kill that guy. And
See, for a moment, I thought that he had just bugged Mito.
No, he hasn't bugged her. They took out all the bugs. He only needed the bugs and the recording devices to get to record the audio of them having sex.
Right.
Yeah, but he's still, the thing though is, he's had that phone since the beginning. And he continually had the phone. When did that, maybe you should get rid of that phone that was given to you by some weird drunk
They
person.
had bugs in all sorts of places. They had bugs in the shoes.
Stranger walks in.
No, I understand that.
Ton of money
But
in the
if
phone.
you know you're bugged and somebody gave you a phone and who only one person calls you, you would think that you would get a new phone at that point.
But also he wants to know the information. So I don't know. To a certain point, he only thinks that the bugs are him being followed and being tracked.
And he
doesn't realize that. I think the main reason for those bugs, because he has other ways of tracking him.
He just wanted the recording.
He wanted the recording of them having sex.
sex,
He needed that for later. So he's taken out all the bugs. What point are you at now?
So now we're at the point of where they find out about the high school.
Because they find
Evergreen
out about
Oldboys?
yeah. they
Evergreen
find the name
Oldboys.
Evergreen and they're looking up everything with Evergreen.
Yeah, and then
Which I thought that was kind of weird that he went to the school and he wouldn't remember that.
Wow.
It wasn't the top of his mind on that. I don't know. There could be a lot
But I mean,
of
think
other
of all the
Evergreen.
schools you went to, you'd be like, for me, like, oh, Lucerna's, well, maybe Lucerna.
Well, but Luzerne is a thing more. Like if someone went to Whittier High School, there's Whittier this, and it was just there's a lot of Whittier things. Like Evergreen could be. There's a lot of Evergreen things, and he doesn't know if Evergreen Tree Service is out there to kill him or to manipulate him. It could be Evergreen Tree Service. See, maybe he didn't tip them well enough
That's
one
what I was
time when they
thinking.
did some tree trimming. You know.
Yeah, but I guess. Well,
Yeah.
it is a little weird.
So they find the high school, and that rings a bell with him because, of course, when he hears that, he's like, "Yeah, that was the high school I went to." So they go to the high school library.
And they find the sister of Woojin's. I guess.
Because the picture's not in there.
Yeah.
It's been blocked. It's been taken out.
I guess they find this. Oh man, I'm a little confused.
They find his picture first.
Yeah, they find his picture,
Yeah.
and he said, and he recognizes immediately. He says, "Oh, that's him. That's Evergreen." So they know his name. And then she stumbles upon the picture. She's like, "Oh, why is this picture not there?" That's because she died.
Yeah.
Well, wait, wasn't it his friend? When he's talking on the phone and trying to figure out, do you remember this guy?
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
he's
then,
like, oh yeah, that's the one whose sister died.
and
blah,
is a
blah,
slut
blah.
and blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
yes.
Then gets.
That's what I
slut,
really
yeah.
like.
Then he
Yeah.
gets. Then Johan, I guess is his name.
Johan.
He gets murdered by
Yep.
Evergreen.
With the
for
CD
hearing
too, right?
the way that he keeps
Didn't
talking
he do it with
about
the CD? He like breaks the CD. I thought he stabbed him with the broken CD. That would have been cool if it was.
I don't know.
I remember he broke the CD.
I was hoping he had a little shard and went.
But he was
I don't remember how
he was
I
listening
thought
in,
he
and
strangled
he was just trying to eavesdrop because he doesn't have his bugs. And after the guy kept going on about how much of a slut his sister
How
was,
much he wanted to do her. And she got a
yeah,
piece of
so that enraged him and had to go kill that. So now we learned from there that this is a sore issue with him.
Yes.
That girl is a hot button issue for him. Very protective of his sister for some reason. Just because at that point it's just because it's his sister.
Well, then at that point it's just like, okay, his sister's dead. This has
Yeah.
something to do with her death.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, that's when I started to suspect that might be going on between them.
yeah.
Which turned me on. That was the point where I was, really got into it.
Uh,
So we see the flashbacks at that point.
yeah. Well, do we?
We start to see.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Before that happens,
Yeah.
he goes and puts Mito into prison
Yeah, to keep her
Yes.
safe.
to keep her
Because
safe
now that he's made friends with the security guard.
with Mr. Park.
Yeah.
Who hates that guy?
He's like, yeah, that guy cut my hand off, so screw that guy. Even though.
But then he goes. Then Daisu goes to some like nail or hair place.
Yeah, he goes to see one of the girls that he went to
owned
school
by
with.
someone
Yes,
that
it's someone that
went to
went to high school
Yeah.
with them to ask to get more information. Yeah.
And then that's when the flashbacks happen.
Well, that's when they first make the
believe.
association of this being something, her crossing the woman's legs,
Yeah.
and it goes in.
Yeah, he's just remembering.
Zoom in,
He's
yeah.
remembering that vision, that imagery
Yeah.
that he's seen
Staring.
before. So then we see the flashbacks of him in high school.
And then there's also, I mean, when she's on the phone, she's saying, "Oh, he should know. Oh, he should know then the reasoning why she killed herself."
Yeah,
And that's when you're like, "Huh, he should
yeah.
know."
It's like you should ask this guy who was. Yeah, you should ask Evergreen.
Oh, I thought they were just saying. I thought what it was that Daisu should know.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Was that? Oh, Daisu should know. Why don't you ask him?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Yeah. And then Daisu's like, I should know.
Yeah.
I should know.
So is this the full flashback? I can't remember the flashback.
I believe
happened all at once, isn't it?
it's the bicycle. Yeah,
Yeah, he's smoking upside down.
and then it proceeds all the way through to taking photos of the sister and undressing her and sucking on her breasts.
Yep. And we don't see everything entirely what happened. They catch him.
And then he runs.
Yeah.
And
And he tells one guy.
yeah.
One guy.
And it's kind of
He's like,
sad
"Don't
because he
tell
promised
anyone."
he wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And then that was
don't keep this.
basically that's when he knows. Okay, now he knows for sure. This is it.
Yep.
This is why
Yep.
I'm a dick.
Yep.
I guess.
Why he talks too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
So and then he goes back to Mito. They're like, oh, we should run. No, we can't. I got to kill this dude.
Yeah.
Get
Just
my
gotta take
revenge.
care of this. You stay here in this safe hotel. And
this is when the huge twist starts to begin because this is where he goes to go. He goes to Evergreen, tries to figure out the elevator 64 code,
yeah.
and then Evergreen just walks in.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I got this.
No, this is it.
We'll go.
0604.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So he's led him to there, led him to killing, to getting that
Yeah.
reveal in the end.
And I always liked his choice of clothing when he's not businessman. He has like a Gilligan hat and like a members only jacket.
I thought you were gonna say naked. Sorry.
Well, what I thought was funny about him being naked is he had a tramp stamp of a cross on his tramp stamp area.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
kind of
That was weird.
a weird place for it.
Well, he's kind of a weird guy.
That's true.
Kind of a weird guy.
So he goes up, he meets Evergreen in the room.
Yeah. And this is where, and then it kind of builds tension
Yeah.
for a little bit, which I thought was good. It builds the tension, and Evergreen's just savoring the moment.
That's the thing I really liked. You could tell he was enjoying every part. Everything had worked out perfectly. Years of planning.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing gets better than that feeling when you've
Yeah.
achieved something over that length of time.
Yeah.
And you could see it in his face.
And he's just like, he knows that he's about to drop this bomb on him. He's just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is good. Let me get, I'm going to take a shower. Hold on. You wait there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go take a shower.
And he gets dressed up. He's gonna look nice because he knows what's
And
gonna
he kind of
happen.
makes him he
in that sweet closet.
he lets
amazing.
Odaisu think that he's won as well.
Yeah.
Because he says, oh, this is all because of your sister and because you did this and you does he say you got her pregnant or is it just
Odaisu says that he was accusing of him of letting her die or killing her because she
Yeah.
was pregnant.
yeah. So he's saying this is all you did this and I found you out. I've figured you out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know that you did this. And he's of course
It's
hurt
like
by
maybe
that.
it's because, yeah, and then it's maybe because you got her pregnant.
Yeah. He says, no, your tongue got her pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he told. And he says, be it a rock or a grain of sand in water, they sink as the same. And he said that before, too.
Yeah.
Evergreen mentioned that before, but now we know it's of the same thing, of him being locked up for 15 years and him making him go through all of this is because of his crime. And he said, no matter how small the crime is, it's still a crime. You still wronged me. No matter how much you wronged me. Even though all you did was tell someone what you saw.
Yeah.
And that's it. You didn't necessarily, you were a piece in that. You were a grain of sand in this, but it's still, you wronged me. You still added to that. It still stinks. So he's not letting the little things go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I actually didn't write down the exact reveal.
yeah, so he's got the upper hand there, and so how does he find out that it was his daughter? How do we remember that, or how does he figure out that? He says,
Oh,
it's
that's
the
when-
present.
Yeah.
It's the present with the photo album.
Yeah.
The photo album, that was it.
Well,
Okay.
first, and when you really know, he says, "Why did I wait 15 years?"
Yeah.
You're asking the wrong question.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong
It's
question.
not.
You're
It's
saying-
not. Why did you wait 15 years? It's why did he let me out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you let me out after 15 years?
Why would he just let me go?
Yeah. And
So
then you're like,
So he sees the photo album, remembers his daughter, looks at his daughter at that age, and he's now raised his daughter.
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. I mean, he spent his money and time to raise that girl.
Yeah.
It's amazing the way he.
It's so much money just
Yep.
to get to
Perfect
revenge.
It is a perfect
Waited
revenge.
15 years. He'd forgotten about not focusing on his daughter and just seeing this girl as a different girl altogether, not knowing if he's on his side or not.
Yeah.
Then once he realizes it's her, he's on the phone with her.
Yeah.
She's got a package
Well,
there.
hold on. First, though, he gets crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and his bodyguard guy tries to take him out, starts beating him up,
Yeah.
and then he's about to, kill him, but no.
Evergreen kills the bodyguard.
He kills the bodyguard.
He's like, no, you're not taking my moment from me.
Yeah.
I've planned this exactly out. I know what's going to happen.
And then to stop him, Evergreen suggests, oh, Woojin, I paid him off for his hand. By the way.
Yeah, but you
Mito's
might
not safe.
You might not trust that hotel so much.
Yeah,
It's like I own that whole thing. I calculated all of that.
Just to stop him from
Yeah,
just
and then we
killing
see
Evergreen
her-
outright.
But then we see her, just being silly with her wings,
Yeah.
bouncing on the bed.
playing with their wings, and that's when they're just hammering that in. Like, remember these? Remember the wings? Yeah. So just to hammer it in, that's definitely her.
And I like that they're still so white after 15 years.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, she carries him around and just perfectly white.
Yeah. Maybe it's a new pair she got.
Oh, that's
because
true.
The old one's probably broke or something. Yeah. could be any number of things. So he tells her not to open the package that's in front of her. He doesn't want her to know.
Dicey goes through a whole lot of begging too of Woojin
Yeah.
after that.
He'll do anything. He'll be his servant. He'll be his dog.
Goes around dogged up.
But I mean,
Yep.
that's
And
what
then-
he does though. Says what Evergreen really wanted to accomplish. Because you read back into how he was younger. He was like a cocky dude and just having sex with anybody. He didn't care about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And to go from that to, I mean, I haven't seen begging like that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
begging.
Well, he's
totally
completely broken him down.
Yeah.
He was a cocky guy, and when him being drunk in the beginning and just not caring about anything, now he's just completely broken. And then he says, "All right, it was my tongue that caused this."
Ironically, begging like Mito told him to make Evergreen beg.
Yeah,
By the way, that
it
was
was
great.
so he thought he had won, completely lost now. Trying to save Mito and is trying to do anything. So he says, "I'll cut off my tongue," and
Doesn't even get the reply like, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, doesn't
No, he just
ask.
Well, that's the
Just
thing. While
keeps
I was
going.
watching it, I was like thinking, how can he get to him? And I'm like, the only way you can do it is like cut off your tongue. Like that's really the only thing. And he knew it. And like, I think when he pulls on the scissors, the audience knows that's the only real way that he can prove that he's been that broken.
Mm-hmm. And when he cuts off his tongue, that's it. He goes away. It's like that's.
Well, Woojin tells him not to open the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tells him, he's like, it's okay. You don't need to reveal. He's now got what he wants out of this. So
But that also says a
So he
lot
tosses
because
over-
he doesn't want. It seems like he doesn't really want to hurt people except for him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to hurt the girl.
Yeah.
It's
I
fine.
think that was totally like what made
But
his
that was
character
like,
more attractive.
yeah,
instead
it
of
was. It was
just
like
being a dick.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, you get some you feel remorse for the villain a bit in this because you're realizing even though he had the relationship with his sister,
Yeah.
he was still on top of it was a relationship. He really loved her and he was trying to be happy with that, but by letting the secret known, then.
Well, I mean, I think that's the whole
Monster.
reason. That's the whole reason he did that. Have it with his daughter to have that incest type thing going on. I think he wanted to have that feeling. of
It's to
being
make
in
him
love
feel the
with-
pain. It's that same thing with even though I'm no more than a monster, do I deserve to live? That's
Yeah.
even Wu Jin's thinking that same thing. He's saying, even though this is wrong, what we're doing here,
Yeah.
it was still love. Does she not deserve to live for this? Like, because that telling people caused her to kill herself. It's like, can't you just let them be, that type of thing. And so he had to make Odaisu into a monster as well. So he can feel that same, but he didn't know that type of, to still he had to turn him into that monster.
And then he does something amazing after showing his heart and saying not to open the box. Then he doesn't shoot Daisu, walks away, drops his laser pointer.
Leaves him the laser pointer that he thinks is the remote. Even though he just used it to go around the room and show the box.
Yeah.
So he's used it as a laser pointer, but he wasn't paying attention to that. So he drops it.
I mean, if he has enough money, you can make a
laser
pointer. You can make a laser pointer that's also a remote.
Yeah.
Walks away. He goes to press the button to
turns on the amazing. Oh, that's so.
Turns
so
on the audio of him having sex with his daughter.
Yeah.
That he's the reason he recorded that. So now he's trapped in this room without a tongue, lying on the floor, hearing this audio.
Yeah.
And so further torture of
And
that.
Mugen just walks away.
Mugen just walks away, gets in the elevator, and remembers
Flashes back.
Flashes back.
Yeah.
And then kills himself.
Yeah.
Kills himself with the gun. So doesn't let Odaisu kill him. Doesn't let him have the satisfaction. But moments later, kills himself because that's it. I've done this is what I've done. I've avenged. He's avenged his sister's death.
Yeah.
And that's it. And
15 years in the making.
So you get some more remorse from there. So another quote.
But I'm just thinking that's got to be a great feeling to accomplish your life's work and then die.
Yeah,
there's nothing better than that.
He's nothing else to live for. It's just he's at peace.
Yeah.
Another quote that's said a few times is "Laugh and the world laughs with you. Weep and you weep alone."
Yeah.
And that's the thing here. If he could have taken his sister's suicide and just mourned over it. And mourn over it is one thing, but by making it into this game and having fun with it, he's now he's chosen to have fun with it by torturing someone else. He's made his fun out of it rather than just being pitiful and weeping.
See, I took a different take on that. I thought he was saying that the whole point of him starting the rumors was, you start that, everybody thinks it's funny, everyone's laughing, and he ends up being the one really alone, that it really impacted him. But that was just my take.
Well, to Odaisu's side, it's kind of that thing of he's laughing with the world. But yeah, to the one...
Laughter is contagious.
Yeah. Sadness is just isolating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cuts you off from everything else. So, yeah, if that terrible things happen, you just laugh.
And then interesting, I think I noticed in the next scene, the last scene.
The snow scene?
Yeah.
Sort of long nails.
Daisu, if you look, it's a little masked. He has white hair.
Oh yeah,
And he didn't before.
Little white hair.
And it's not just the snow. Like, because I even checked, I'm like, wait, was it just snow? And then I even went back and checked. I'm like, no, he's got white hair. So that's, some time has passed, I guess. I don't know where he is. I mean, obviously New Zealand, but story-wise, I don't know where he is.
Story-wise, I don't know.
We don't know where he is. So a lot of time has passed, and he gets hypnotized, and they have that beautiful sort of moment in the hypnotized moment where like the monster walks away, and I thought that was kind of
Well, even
he says he's getting rid of the monster and getting rid of that memory.
Good prose.
Yeah. So having the monster walk away and getting the monster out of him, and he's hypnotized to forget the reveal and to forget that that he's had this relationship with his daughter.
Yeah.
And so that they can go on and have their relationship.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Even before he goes through all that, I mean, I just imagined going through that in your mind. Like, I'm in love with this girl, it's my daughter, we have really great sex. It's just weird, and then he decides, you know what? I'm gonna try to forget that and go on with it. I don't know.
It could be part that he's now taken some
It's
remorse
also,
for religion.
how does he explain that to me though?
Yeah, he can't.
That we're not going to have sex anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
The relationship.
No, that's what I was saying. I would think you would have to. Are you going to cut off the relationship? Never talk to her again?
But if he cuts off the relationship, she now asks why. And if even though he could lie to her, but she could sometime find out that the reason why he cut off the relationship was because she's his daughter. Now she has that, and now that pain comes on her. And
Well,
she
yeah,
breaks.
but I like for me, I would think I would just jet to another part of Korea or whatever. Like
yeah, that could be that'd be what you would do there, and this is what he's doing. And I think part of it could be that he's found sympathy in Woojin and seeing the love that Woojin had for his sister, and so he's kind of erased that. He's like, if I don't know that this is a problem, then maybe it'll be okay. And because he was happy with her, so he's found that he wants his happiness, and he can erase that from his mind.
Woojin lives on.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Deep.
And then what's even greater is that then it's the was someone with you? Little breadcrumb trail still there with the two chairs.
Yeah. Because it's that thing of when you erase your mind and you erase the part of when you erased your mind. So now you're wondering, oh wait, did something just happen? And now he's going to try to figure that out. It's the memento thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also like how it's you kind of realize it was all him. He had written everything down, and she's basically reading the story.
Yeah, because he can't talk.
Yeah.
So.
Because his tongue was cut out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when it seems that she was hired on for the hypnotizing thing before, it's just
Yeah, she was the same person.
Yeah, it was the same girl.
but she was hired. She was hired on before. It seems like she didn't know the full story. Evergreen didn't tell her, because when she reads it, she says, "If this is all true, what you're saying here, then." Yeah. So you had to understand that. So she didn't know that full story, all the craziness that ensued with that. She was just hired to say, okay, you're going to meet this girl and you're going to say this and do that. And that's what she was hired to do. Hired to tell him, to plant to inception those ideas.
Wow.
There was that whole movie came in there. She totally incepted his mind. And then you had to spin the top.
And we have a happy ending.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's
a weird ending.
It's odd, but it's
oddly arousing. But
can you make it happier? Like,
it's as happy as this movie
as happy
could
as
end, where they two are happy together in the end.
Oh man,
that's at least.
I thought he was gonna kill himself.
Add that onto my
That's the other option.
Add that onto my summary. Like, it's intense, gory revenge film with a happy ending.
Yeah. It's as happy as it is.
So they're watching it like, what the hell? Where's this happy ending?
Just checking if that record light's still on mine.
It was on a little while ago.
It was.
It's probably been a while though. How many hours you got?
Oh, it's just a shoot for 2 hours. Recorded for an hour and a half. Let me check. Of course, right there. These things. At least this one's still going.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this one's saying low battery. So. All right, we have a camera. We're good.
All right.
Put that there.
Any more? Any less?
Hold on.
I guess. Any more comments?
Edit point. Hold on. Edit point.
Oh.
And edit point. Any more comments on it?
Any more? Well, yeah. Are we? How do you feel? You hadn't seen the film before. You haven't seen the film before.
I love the movie. I think it was one of those films that I think the movie on a whole was a lot better than other ones I've seen like this. But there are a lot of movies that I'll watch. I just watched one recently. I don't want to spoil all those movies to say that there's big twists or anything in them.
Right.
But not just twists, but there's a lot of movies where they're mediocre movies. No, those are just terrible. Mediocre movies or even bad movies, but then the ending can be something amazing and have a great revelation and just turn the whole movie around where you're like, I'm glad I sat through this to get that.
Yeah.
And get that feeling. And this movie built it up so perfectly. And a lot of times, I didn't catch this. It took me a while to catch on to what the twist was on this, and that was exciting to see. And the way it played out, I think, was entertaining with that. It was misdirecting you and making you focus on other things.
Yeah.
I really liked it. The first thing I did when it was over was I rated it with 5 stars. Mm-hmm. And then I was hoping when it went online it would suggest more like it.
Oh, okay.
But it was doing like some old other movies I had seen.
It suggested ones. I've got some that I'm going to definitely watch that were recommending others like it. The one that it put like it that I had seen before was Memento.
Oh, yeah.
And that was one that I was thinking as I was watching, and I was like, this reminds me of Memento. There are some other movies that reminds me of that I don't want to say as much because it kind of spoils those movies.
Yeah.
But in different ways.
Well, it also seems like Chan-wook Park.
Yeah.
I think it's just like a style too.
Yeah.
Like, I watched the preview for Stoker.
Yeah.
Um,
Stoker. I saw the
and
trailer for that one.
Or the trailer, and that looks like it's just right up. It's just,
That one's interesting because I've noticed with a lot of his big film, this one, and this is actually the second part of his Revenge trilogy. So I'm going to be watching those movies as well.
Yeah.
It's I can't remember the exact titles of the movies, but it's a 3-part trilogy, and this is the second part in it.
You gotta find the first one.
It's I don't know if it's necessarily the same story going through. The other two have similar titles, but it's part of his collection, and he wrote and directed all those movies.
Wow!
But Stoker he didn't write, so he's just directing that one. And the writer of it is a first-time writer who's also an actor. So it'll be interesting to see. But the trailer did seem kind of similar style.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool that Matthew Goods got another thing that looks kind of cool. Ozymandias.
Yeah.
From Watchmen.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him in anything else, so
Yeah.
I thought that'd be cool to see him do that.
It's funny, that character is reminding me of Evergreen while I was watching it.
Oh, from Stoker?
No.
Ozymandias.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me of
That
Evergreen.
kind of controlling thing and plotting out every
Yeah.
point. I think, it's kind of that same similar type of thing. I would recommend to people who love this movie and don't like spoilers, if you liked Oldboy, don't watch the trailer for Stoker. Because I haven't seen Stoker yet because it doesn't come out until March 1st. But I would say I'm worried that the trailer gives away too much.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that myself.
But, yeah.
Because I watched it, and particularly towards not so much the first little bit of it,
Yeah.
but later on, I was like a little worried, like,
Yeah. Am I supposed to know this
am I
yet?
supposed to know this?
Yeah.
But then it's kind of the trailer for Flight was one of those things where I was like, am I supposed to know that this happens in the movie? And then you watch the movie and you're like, first 5 minutes, it's like, okay.
Oh, I haven't seen Flight.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Maybe I'll go see it.
Yeah, the trailer,
I was partly worried just
because
because it's Denzel Washington, but not that I don't like Denzel Washington. I just
well, the problem is,
like-
don't watch that video of the parody of the guy doing the impression of Denzel Washington, because then you look at this movie and you see him do all those same mannerisms.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yep.
Well, it's Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real about it. But also to mention in Stoker, obviously Nicole Kidman and Mia Wasikowska, who is Alice in Alice in Wonderland, and Jane Eyre in Jane Eyre.
Yeah. Alice in one of the Alice in Wonderlands.
In the new one.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's the original one from
Yeah.
Disney.
Right. The one
And
with
not Alice.
Johnny Depp as
Alice,
Matt.
the sci-fi series.
Oh, I never ended up watching that one, but
It's pretty good.
yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So, Tony,
Yes, sir.
you're up for next week's
Yes.
pick.
I am
What do you have
next,
for us?
and
I'm
the film I
scared.
have chosen is Mary and Max.
Oh,
Have you seen it?
it's suggested to me. I haven't seen it yet.
It is
I haven't seen it either.
Nice. I like when these movies that I
Australian
want to see.
film. It's claymation, and actually, I won't say anything else.
Cool.
So you can just watch it.
All right.
So.
Yeah. Claymation. This one's been one that's been
Max.
suggested to me by Netflix for so long.
Yeah, it's claymation, but it's very.
Yeah.
It's kind of kiddie in the way they present it, but it's very adult in what they talk about and the things that happen. So,
All right.
and
Perfect Blue.
I cried like a little girl on her period, watching Sleepless in Seattle after she broke up with her boyfriend at the very end. Like it really touched me personally. So
I cry during movies. I don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I watched in 2010, and now I get to watch it again. And talk about it. So it'll be fun.
Nice. All right. So we'll discuss that next week. And anything else to say? Any plugs? Anything else?
Thank you all.
Thanks for watching.